Hello everyone, my name is Ian. Welcome back to my hobby YouTube channel in brief book and film reviews. So it's been about 6 weeks since I've been online posting any reviews and stuff. I was very busy there, and then also I went on holiday for 3 weeks over to Asia. Come back very jet lagged, and I had a lot of work to do in the second week, so find myself have a little bit of time, and I wanted to come online and just give a review to a couple of books and films and stuff and that. So I wanted to start this week with reviewing a book I read many years ago, actually probably about 8 or 9 years ago. The book was released on the 2nd of May 2013. It was published by Penguin Books. Pages is about 240, so you'll fly through it. The author is Alan Croghan, or Croghan as they say in the west of Ireland, and the book is called Disorganised Crime. The genre is true life. It's an autobiography and slash crime, and I have to say from start to finish, a really interesting book, and I got a lot from it. I got a lot of laughs out of it, and it has a bit of everything in that: laughter, sadness, understanding. One of the reasons why I like this book as well is because Alan is talking about primarily talking about areas where I grew up and I know very well: Coolock, Santry, Finglas, in Dublin, North Dublin. They're all areas, suburban areas in North Dublin, and it was really interesting to kind of resonate and identify with certain things that he'd gone through. I would be familiar with, when it comes to seeing things and stuff and that, like drugs and clashes with Garda Síochána, which is the Irish police department, and other stuff as well and that. So it was really interesting to read the book, and you went away saying, wow, that was like fair balls to him, and that, like for writing that out, being so honest and that. And Alan is the type of person, he's immensely skilled when it comes to thinking about fantastic ideas, creative ideas, but like so many people, and I don't know the man personally, and that I've only actually got in touch with him there the other day, but he's the type of person that is immensely skilled, has immensely intelligent also, but kind of doesn't appear to back himself as much as what he should do. That's from the outside looking in. Now I could be completely wrong, but yeah. So anyway, it was a fantastic book. So it starts out, I won't give too much away from it, because if I do, it's just going to be a spoiler. He's actually mentioned there's a lot of people in there, a couple of people I actually know, I'm very familiar with, and a couple of people as well. You think, wow, really, that's amazing, like, So yeah, Alan starts off, obviously he's growing up in that, in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, going through the system, so basically where he was brought up, and that where I was brought up as well, for a period of time in my life when I was a kid, is like housing projects. So they were built, I think it was in the 70s, 80s, and around the Ferry Carrick, the Glen, the Mofew, Prizewood areas, Darndale, all that type of area. And these were put in to help the growing population within Dublin, families with larger families. So he would have grown up around that time and era, and trying to find himself, trying to find his patch, his way, friends and stuff like that, growing up and having to navigate through what Ireland was put through in the 80s and 90s, and is still very much today, with the heroin epidemic, and basically, gangsters flooding Ireland, with drugs and stuff and that. So he would have had to navigate himself through that way. It's an area that was I wouldn't say it was underdeveloped at the time, but there wasn't much to do. Really wasn't much to do on that, for the youth and that. So how kids, instead of going on playgrounds or kicking the ball around, how kids used to entertain themselves would be going out joyriding or robbing cars or just doing dumb shit, basically. I remember having a lot of happy days there, as a kid growing up, kicking balls and playing jockey back, Red Rover, Bulldog, all these types of games and that, so it was really interesting to read what he went through as a youngster, So he explains all that at the very start, and that then he talks about getting involved in relationships with women. He talks about drugs and his addiction with alcohol and difficulties with alcohol overcoming it. Talks about the I think it's the 12 steps of sobriety, and also talks about his conflicts with Gardaí Síochána also as well, the Irish Police Department. So for people watching outside, Irish youth had a difficult time because obviously they were in the area. They were kind of like, they weren't going to sit around for no one. And I want to say as well about people from Coolock, Dublin, that assaulted the earth, that they really are. I'm very, very, like, I've been out at Coolock for many, many years now, and that, but every time I go back there, I always feel at home, I always feel safe, and that, it's like, it's the place where I'm most happiest, and that, and really, really good people, regardless of our ways and what we do. But that's not always seen kindly by a lot of people, particularly the guards, who would give any youth a very, very hard time. Recall an incident when I was going to work one time. I was waiting on a bus transportation. That I was in my early 20s at the time of that, and basically 3 guards ran up on me in a car and basically asked me did I know anyone who had drugs and stuff, and that they were trying to bait me to point them in the right direction and stuff, and that, and obviously because they had a country accent, and that, especially anyone outside of Dublin is basically regarded as a culture. So they had a different sounding accent that was wide to that. I knew straight away, like, that they were guards. So I just kind of frowned at them and said, no, I don't know where to get any drugs and stuff, because he knew that I knew, and I wasn't stupid and that. So he tried to get very abrupt and try to kind of threaten me and that, So he say, like, you got, what's your fucking attitude for, boy? What's your effing attitude for? If you kind of don't get cheeky with me, next time I'll put you in a boot. And then you'd have these 2 colleagues laughing in the back and that, like, so you'd get all this type of stuff, and that's from someone who just was minding his own business, going to work and that. So, like, when you hear about Americans, like black African Americans and that, having trouble with the guards over the police department over in America, we get it as well with our own and stuff and that. So so it was very, he would have locked horns a couple of times with the guards, and just being in and out of prison and stuff and that, doing small sentences and stuff, and then kind of rejoicing and having redemption within the prison system and stuff, and then starting to use his mind, starting to use his head. There's a lot of really, really smart, intelligent people have come out of Coolock and that, North Dublin. Really, really smart, intelligent people that could have gone a long, long way in life, but unfortunately a lot of them got trapped up in the drug scene. The epidemic and the infusion of heroin, particularly in the 80s and 90s by gangsters and stuff, and that, would have or criminals would have really put a dampener on the whole scene and that the whole spirit of these areas and stuff, and that once the kids would start to take them, they started doing crazy stuff. They get a buzz, they think everything is grand, they get bored seeing the way life the way it is, and they see it differently. But it's all negative. It's all basically aimed at suppressing people, trying to get as much money out of them, and basically have them walking around like zombies all the time and that. So Alan would have gone through all that. He also would have gone, would have had a decent enough life in terms of employment, and that he would have, I remember he was talking about employment in Dublin Airport. I think it was a traffic controller or baggage handler. So basically transporting the baggage from planes and off the planes also, and also involved in a relationship with a pilot. With actually a pilot, which is an incredible story in that. But he gives a very honest account, as if why these relationships didn't last, and he done some crazy stuff on that. I was like, wow. And he was even honest enough to admit it and say it, like, which is even more commendable and that, you know. And like I said before, like he read that book himself, so you have to give him dues. You have to give him dues. Like about anyone that can sit there and write a book, it's not easy in that, you know, to sit there. I know it's not easy there to sit, write a book in that, because you're rewriting it, overlooking, make sure everything's all right. You want to be pinpoint, accuracy, specific, and that. So you know, you give the audience, the readers, the whole account of what was going on. So yeah, it was a really interesting book, and that from start to finish, and that gives a mention to a couple of two or three people that I know, and yeah, it was just a really interesting book. So if you're looking for a book to read, I don't want to go too far into it. If you're looking for a book to read, yeah, go for that one. On that, Alan actually has a YouTube account. He's a couple of them actually in that, but I got in contact with him on one of them there the other day, and he reached back out to me in that. So I'll send you the link in that if you want to follow Alan on his YouTube account, and also then you can look at the book online and that and see if you want something that you would read. But definitely one I would highly recommend in that. So that's it. I'm going to leave it at that because I've gone into 11-12 minutes and don't like going too far into it. So yeah, that's it for me. I hope everyone's staying very well, staying blessed, staying positive as always, keeping the faith, being very gratuitous for the things that you have in their lives and that. And I'll be back again next week, and that no doubt. I want to try and get as many out as possible, and that start trying to get them back out once a week if I can, and that kind of going off the boil with it for a while, and that because I've just been so busy at the time, you know, at the moment, and that, you know, so that's it. That I lost my wife there a couple of years ago, last year, and so I I had to go. I went through a lot of emotional stress and stuff, and that, and I took time out with this and that, but I want to get back online. There's other stuff also as well. I want to create as well on YouTube, and that when I get other things sorted out. So I hope everyone is doing very well, chasing their dreams, going after what they would like in life and that. And stay blessed always. And I'll speak to you again next week. All the best. Bye bye.